Durant-led American squad suffered their second straight setback yesterday as they lost to Australia 91-83. Patty Mills led the way for the Aussies with 22 points. And the Americans had their chances late, but a late air ball and turnover ultimately did them in. The only good news is it's only a pre-Olympics exhibition game right now. We still got about 2 weeks before games start for Team USA at the Olympics. Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard joins us now. Chris, scale of 1 to 10, and be honest here, how concerned should we be?
I'm waffling between a 9 and a 10. All right, and that's not to say that Team USA can't win the gold. You know, they got Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum. They may just win it on those guys' talent alone. That said, they should be very concerned because we all know they wanted to come out and make a statement against Australia. They had just lost to Nigeria, a team that a few years ago they beat by 80-something points, and they wanted to come out and make a statement, and instead they lost for the 4th time in their last 5 international games. That dates back to 2019 when we lost in the World Games. We finished 7th in the World Games. Now, we didn't have KD and Dame Lillard, but Jason Tatum and several other, Kemba Walker, and other NBA players were there, and we finished 7th. So this is a concern. I think there's a few issues. One, this roster is poorly constructed. There's not a rim protector or shot blocker on the roster. And you saw that last night when Australia just had its way in the paint. Cuts, dives, backdoor cuts. They were at the rim all night. They scored 44 points in the paint. Remember, it's just a 40-minute game. All right, and then look at the roster. The only player on the team who naturally makes plays for others is Draymond Green. Other Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, the other stars are all score-first guys. They can pass, but Draymond's the only one with that real instinct to get others involved and share the basketball. So the roster's poorly constructed. We keep hearing about the continuity and the chemistry, right? Oh, these other teams have been playing together since they were 14, 15 years old. They got a huge advantage. I won't totally eliminate that possibility because I think it is a factor. But it's a factor that's often overstated, and here's why. Look at Nigeria. Shoot, a lot of their dudes grew up in America. Ekpe Udo is from Oklahoma. Gabe Vincent is from California. Precious Akua is from New York City. A lot of these dudes are from America. They haven't been playing together since they were kids. Australia, okay, to some degree, but they also have 7 new players, and they've had 2 or 3 different coaches in the last 3 years. What it boils down largely to is this. I think this is an indictment on the way our American players grow up playing from AAU all the way into the NBA. And that is, and I've talked to people around the league about this, and former players from, you know, a generation ago. Our players grow up playing 2-man or 1-man basketball. High pick and roll or drive and kick. That's it. Our best players don't know how to move without the basketball. They don't set screens away from the ball. They don't do backdoor cuts for the most part. And if you look at that tape we showed before I came on and Jen was speaking and you saw the highlights, every single one of them, it was just dudes standing around the three-point line. Look at this. Is there any movement?
No.
No movement without the ball whatsoever. And so our default in a tough game is to go one-on-one.
Yep.
Or maybe give me a pick and I'll go one, you know. Whereas Australia, when they come together, it's going to be true for a lot of the European countries, when they come together, they grow up playing 5-man team basketball. So last night, we weren't in the same stratosphere as far as execution as Australia. They had guys naturally backdoor cutting, moving without the ball, and they picked us apart. And generally speaking, a talented group that plays 5-man ball is often going to beat a more talented group that plays a lot of one-on-one or two-man basketball. Doesn't happen all the time, but often that's the case. So that's the challenge we're going to be facing in this international play.
Well, I told Skip the same thing. I gave him an 8. I'm very concerned because I don't believe the team was put together correctly. Because you look at it, this says we want shooting. Well, you got no rim protecting. You got no rebounding. You got out rebounded by 10 or 12 by Nigeria. You got out rebounded last night by 7 by Australia. And you're talking about you want to focus on shooting, but you're getting outshot. And I think the thing is, Skip and Chris, is that you look at it, you look at these teams, they don't have one player that's better than Kevin Durant. They don't have one player that's a Dame Lillard. And in America, we grow up, if you're the best player, they don't play a whole lot of team ball. We're going to give you the ball, we're going to set picks for you, we're going to get out of your way. Well, that's not how they play. They got to play team basketball. They got to move the ball because they don't have a Kevin Durant. They don't have a Dame Lillard. They don't have a top 5 player normally on. Now, if Luka's a different animal. Giannis, if he plays for the Greek, I don't think Giannis is playing with the Greek team, but that's a different animal. But for the most part, they have to play this style of ball because they don't have one guy that can just take the game over. And when you look at it, they got no perimeter defenders. We've always had, you go back to 92, you had David Robinson, you had Patrick Ewing. You've had Shaq, you've had Elijah Wan, you've had Dwight Howard, you've had Tyson Chandler. You've always had guys that can protect the rim, but you've also had guys that were unselfish, say, you know what, I can score. Yeah, I can score. But everybody can't go get 25 in an Olympic game. Okay, I'm going to D up. Scotty and Mike says, okay, we play D. Kobe said, I'll play D. D-Wade said, I'll lock in. LeBron says, I ain't giving up nothing cheap. Right now, we got a bunch of guys that just want to score. Nobody wants to play defense. They got us scoring in the paint, Skip. 44-24 last night, Australia. Australia, I thought they're perimeter guys. Oh, they got Joe Ingles not trying to get grimy. Patty Mills not trying to get grimy. None of these guys are like low post players. And they guys outscored the American team by 20 in the paint. If they had Giannis, if they had Jokic, I said, okay, you
remember,
got it.
that's a lot of backdoor cuts for layups.
That's my point.
Okay.
And when you got guys that don't play defense that not used to being like that, Skip, they looking around and whoop, laying the ball up in the basket. We're going to talk about Coach Pop getting upset. But, Skip, I'm concerned because these teams are no longer in awe. Skip, ain't nobody trying to get the Michael Jordan jersey. Ain't nobody trying to get no autographs and get a picture taken with Charles Barkley and the Dream Team. They trying to kick your butt. And so, yeah, guess what? And they see you in the game. Man, we beat y'all butt. Y'all remember we beat y'all butt in the Olympics? Where your gold medal at? Because that's what I'd be doing if I played on a foreign team and we beat the Americans and we got the gold. Oh, Chris, you couldn't tell me. You couldn't hit me.